Maybe you want to open the conversation with inquiring about pronouns.
With kindness and love.
I think there's nothing more frustrating than someone just seeing you as the sum of your gender.
You would address a trans person like you would address any other person. You would treat them as a person.
You just say hi. Start with that.
Everybody has their own nuanced definition of what transness means to them.
It's basically identifying as a gender that you were not assigned at birth.
Being born in a gender that I really just don't feel comfortable in.
If you're gonna give it a name, strength. I believe that us transgendered women, we have a strength unlike any other.
A trans person looks like any other type of person. That's like asking, what does a man look like? Or what does a woman look like? Or what does a child look like? There's so many variables.
Trans people come in all genders, all
shapes and
sizes, all colors. And also, you know, you don't need to have transitioned to be transgender. The trans people aren't necessarily always visible.
Everybody's got a certain look. There's no particular uniform.
Just like all cis women don't look alike, all trans women don't look alike.
I mean, look at you and I, honey. Only thing we share is a little mocha.
My transition was an evolution. I knew from an early age that I felt something. I didn't have the language to articulate it.
I think there's always been an element of me that always knew.
I knew at 19 that it was possible to transition. And I didn't transition until 35.
Like you said, everyone's journey is completely different. I mean, I always knew.
I was attracted to feminine things when I was around 5, but my parents didn't know. I didn't even know the term trans or transgender. I was just told, no, you shouldn't be into Barbies, you should be into G.I. Joe.
I was into My Little Pony.
Not all transgender people are heterosexual, and neither are they all gay.
Gender and sexuality are not the same thing.
I've always been about beauty doesn't have a sex for me. So at the end of the day, it's like what I'm gonna remember is whether or not you're a nice person.
Not all trans people take hormones or decide to take hormones.
I'm like, give it to me, baby.
I love my moans.
A year into my recognition to myself, I was just like, this is everything that I've always known, but brought it together. Like it brought my levels and everything together. So in a sense, it brought me right from my blood type.
Some trans people choose to use hormones because they want to have masculinizing characteristics added to their body, or they want to have feminizing characteristics in their body, and they don't naturally produce those.
Being trans does not require having surgery.
So you kind of are like forced, like, okay, I need to have all these surgeries so I can blend in and people can accept me. But really, I didn't have to have any of the surgeries. I just needed to love myself and be accepted.
Everyone's journey is completely different, and I think that how you feel inside is exactly that. And if you feel like you've got to do something to make that inside feel right, then you do.
It's all about the process of changing your body if you want to make yourself feel more comfortable and peaceful within your own mind.
You can be trans and never have any type of surgery, never do anything at all. Maybe just change your name, change your pronouns. You can do whatever. You can self-define.
Dating while trans is a nightmare. It's so annoying. I mean, it's not like there's not people out there. It's just a minefield.
Either extreme fetishism or extreme rejection. There's really no middle ground for me.
Assertive woman is very different than being a touchy-feely guy. Now I'm a creep. So I had to like learn all of those kind of nuanced behavior patterns.
A lot of guys that approach me assume that I am cis. So do I tell him immediately? Do I tell him via text? Do I call him? Do we meet up at Starbucks? It's so much that runs through my mind as far as, okay, this man is feeling me. How am I going to deliver this news to him?
It's scary because you're going to a situation where someone doesn't necessarily know your background, and I don't fear for myself necessarily, but for trans women, that's a very dangerous situation to be in. You know, women do get killed.
My first thought is we're not accepted by society.
That is a very good question. Why do black people get murdered? Why is anyone out there coming outside of their face crooked, taking someone else's life because of whatever it is that they're going through?
Trans women of color are being murdered left and right, and they're not getting the same opportunity as a cis person or a cis white person.
The reality of the matter is a lot of the murders are based in stigma and shame.
There's a lot of fear in who does this person make me and what does it say about my masculinity and who I am in front of everybody else.
There's so many reasons why trans women are murdered, but ultimately it comes down to prejudice, it comes to inequality, and it comes to lack of understanding about trans people and the men that find us attractive.
Of course you can be religious. I identify and believe in Buddhism, and I've practiced that since I was a child.
Religion's meant to be for everybody.
Anybody can be religious.
Anybody can be religious.
Transitioning was like a spiritual experience for me. I finally felt like I was my whole self, and as a result, I found a relationship with a higher power of my understanding.
The way that my mind has formed has been a blessing, and that's a lot of that is down to being trans and empathizing and coming into contact with so many amazing people that I don't know if I would have met if I was cis.
Being able to look at yourself, and because you have to a lot of times, you're like, why am I different? What is wrong with me? And so you spend a lot of time thinking about who you are.
I love being trans. Having a human experience, and I got to be both sexes.
At the end of the day, none of us are worth anything if we don't love ourselves. That has everything with how it is that you hold your head up and how proud you are.
The thing I love most about being trans is getting this complete 360-degree view of what it means to be a human being.
But what I love most about being trans for myself, it's just been my journey throughout womanhood and sharing stories with fellow trans women and even cis women and seeing differences and similarities.
I love that people are Googling these questions because that means you're curious and you want to learn something about the trans community.
You can find out more than you ever will on Google. I swear, by actually speaking to people.